Alright, at the end of 1.1 tutorial, we were right-clicking on Gallery B. Oops. And we were doing the menu options, and we selected Exclude Page from Menus. And what that's going to do is if I look at my navigation menu, I'm not going to see Gallery B on here. So you're going to notice that. Okay, so that's what that does. Okay. Okay, and that's what that looks like, which is what we have here. Okay, that's what your web page should currently look like. Okay, menu type. Okay, so we chose a menu type, all pages. Direction horizontal. Okay, so I'm going to click on this option box, and it's like a blue little arrow when I click on my navigation, and it's going to give me this formatting box, and I'm going to click menu type all pages. So I'm going to move that to all pages. I'm going to move this over so I can see it. Direction should be horizontal. If I lose it, no big deal. I'll just go back to it. Okay, all pages horizontal. Edit together. Make sure it's checked. Item size, uniform size. Parts, show label, check. Show right icon off. And parts positioning, horizontal center aligned. Good. Okay, so if you'll notice what that has done is I can now see my drop-down menu of my child pages. Okay, so it gave me that drop-down type of highlighting and navigation that I wanted. Okay, so that's good to see, so that when this is live and I highlight over this, it'll automatically drop down. Okay, so that's where we're at. So you should save your file right now. So you should definitely save frequently. File, save site as. I called mine my initials KKTutorial. You could just keep saving it. Whatever your initials are, -KKTutorial is totally sufficient. Okay. So then clicking on the navigation bar with the pointer tool. Okay, so one click top left menu. Let's see. Okay, so if you'll notice, we didn't look at this last time, but when we were looking at coloring and setting our formatting for our navigation bars, if I just click on the navigation bar, if I look to my top left, it says menu, no states. So this just means it's the menu. So if I click again, you're going to see that it says menu item, normal. So let's see what happens when I click the fill under menu item. If I change the color, it's going to change the color of my boxes. So now I understand what the menu item is. Okay, so if whoops, I think it was a gray before. Okay. And then if I click a double click on there, it goes to text up in the top left. And that's how I know that I have my text selected. And then I know I can give a color to my text and it will apply to my text. And now my text turns blue. Okay, so this is a great indicator of where you are within the navigation bar. So again, one click, look up here, menu no states, and that would affect looks like that affects the edges in between. So I'm going to give that a none. If I clicked again, so click menu, no states, another click menu item, I believe this will be my background color. So I had my background color of green. And then click one more time, or double click, and when it changes, whoops, not to label. So this is what the tricky part is. When I get to text, I know that that's affecting the color of my text. So you're always going to look in the top left. Okay. So again, I'm pointing this out. Okay. Okay. So pull down View, Fit Page and Window. So I'm going to do View, Fit Page and Window, and I can see my entire page minus the top portion. This is just when I say I want to see the page, it's just where you're putting your text, okay? And your navigation bar in this instance. So I want my navigation bar the width of 720. So when I click on my navigation bar and scroll, make sure it goes to 720 and no more, no less. So again, it'll give me my measurements. So 720. Okay, so that's what I want it to be widthwise. Okay, so I'm going to click on my navigation bar, go to Window, Transform, Window, whoops, click on my navigation bar, Window, Transform, and I'm able to change my height of that piece of artwork. I'm going to change the height to 38. So when I click on this, height, I'm going to change it to 38, and you'll see it'll get a little taller. Okay, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay on the navigation bar, click, fill it with any red. So my fill is going to be any red color. So I'm going to go with a deep red. And okay, so I'm going to give my text a white color, and then I am also going to click on fill and give it an opacity, I believe. Okay, so with my background, I'm going to click on the words fill, and I'm going to give it I believe, a 50% opacity. Is that what I had said? Yeah. So the red, when I click on the fill, when it's under red, I'm going to give it a 50% opacity, so it's like a lighter red. Okay. And in my example, I had yellow as the text. I can always change my text. Always change my text to a yellow color. There you go. Okay. So then select the word fill and select gradient. Okay. So click on fill, and I can always click gradient instead. I am going to change the word fill, select gradient. opacity 50 to 100, the focal point's going to be 42. So again, click on, oops, focal point is going to be 42. It's going to be 50 to 100. Vertical and the size is going to be automatic. Vertical, automatic. So it now is giving me a blended version. When I have my solid, I have my gradient, my opacity should go from 50 to 100. There you go. Okay, so that's similar to what we should have. So I'm going to change the font to either News Gothic or Palatino. So again, get to my text. I don't even need to highlight it. I can just make sure I see text on the top left. And I can either go to Palatino, I'll just go to Palatino, and it'll automatically change all my text to Palatino. And the font, the color is going to be white, and the point size is going to be 12, and the width is going to be 2. So it's going to be 12, and text 2 here. Spaces out the text a little bit, and I also need to change the color to white. And it's looking good. Okay. Okay, so if I click on the navigation bar, effects come up above, and I can also add a shadow. I can add a beveled edge. I can also add glow. So it depends on what I want. In this case, I was going to do a shadow effect, set it as black, opacity 25. So you have to have this selected. Effects, shadow. See how I put a shadow on there? Black, opacity 25, size blur size 3, angle 45, and the distance is 2. And then I always hit return to apply it, and you'll see it just gives it a nice drop shadow. And that's what it looks like. That's where we got it from. Okay, so we're going to place it a little higher up here. Looks good. Okay. Okay, so that was just to show you how to create that. Okay. I want you to just keep that down here. Well, no, I'm going to go back on that one. Okay, so now that was just to know how to create a gradient fill. I think what we're going to do is we're going to double click, get rid of that gradient fill. So I'm going to click back to solid. I'm going to change it to no background. Okay. So what we are going to do is place, we're going to do file, place a top navigation bar, which is going to look more similar to the website. So file, place, and it is called top nav ping. It's just a brown piece of artwork. I'm going to click, put that brown piece of artwork in. It's a ping file, so it comes in with no background. I'm going to place it up here. And I'm going to take my text, and I'm going to bring it on top. Now if I can't see it like